Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and I'm your host, and this is my spoiler review for episode 2 of the new Disney Plus series by Marvel Television, Daredevil Born Again, episode 2 spoiler review. If you have not seen episode 1 and 2, pause this. But before you go, could you hit that thumbs up button? That would help my YouTube channel grow even more. I truly appreciate that. If you do that, go watch it, come back. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Daredevil episode 2. And again, y'all been warned, this is a spoiler review. So let's get into it. This episode starts off with Mayor Fisk as he mentions a new era. He claims that New York City doesn't need vigilantes, as he mentions in his own ways, the Punisher. He mentions Spider-Man and, of course, Daredevil himself. By not saying the names, but, guy with a skull t-shirt, a webhead, a guy in a red suit, or a devil, the devil himself, right? And he says he's getting rid of vigilantes and he's going to clean up the streets. And he in his most villainous ways. And it takes place on New Year's Eve / New Year's Day. It probably was the countdown, but we see a guy who saves a person who looks like they were getting mugged, and things did not look good. As we learn, this guy, his name is Hector Yahala, who is the brother of the female version of White Tiger. So there's brother and sister. That's why, I know, the diehard fans, if you remember, the older Spider-Man cartoon shows, like Ultimate Spider-Man and stuff, do you see the female version? I forget her name, but she's the sister. So this is Hector's the brother. So I feel like what they're doing is doing the brother first, and this is probably going to lead to the sister, which is probably going to lead up to the Young Avengers. That's what I'm getting out of it. But we see Hector just see a bunch of guys mugging another guy, and he found out it was just an undercover cop. But the problem is, while he was, wrestling around, one of the guys fell on the train track and got hit by the subway train. So it would be the subway track, sorry. And then the cop arrested him. And obviously, when you kill a cop in New York, they're going to pin it on you and make you suffer, right? And so that's how it is in this. So then we go to see that Mayor Wilson Fisk is struggling between the younger audience, who's very successful and love him in popularity, versus the traditional ones, who are the older ones, who not a fan of him because they don't see his wife and they don't agree with her actions. And then we see Daredevil meet up with the White Tiger, Hector, and Matt Murdock obviously wants to represent him because he overhears that these cops are trying to force him to sign this paper and admit that he didn't, but he doesn't want to, and obviously this is going to be a challenge. We also see Mayor Wilson Fisk get on that same bridge that could be from the one, I believe, from Spider-Man No Way Home, where we see Dr. Octavius appear and battle Spider-Man in that scene in Spider-Man No Way Home. This could be the bridge because there was a giant hole, and if you remember in Spider-Man No Way Home, as I like to call him, Dr. Octopus, I think he either slammed Spider-Man or threw a car or whatever with his, robotic tentacles, but I forget, but I think that's the same one, and I think that's really cool because this is probably their best way to not get in trouble with Sony, because of Sony's deal with Marvel Studios, of course, and their relationship using the property of Spider-Man. Obviously, we're not going to see Spider-Man in this show, but they're tying it in where this is like a Sony Disney Plus crossovers, and this is the best way they can get out of it, which I'm totally fine. And obviously, he gets some like construction workers to work on it, and he says, "Well, there's red tape, blah blah blah," and he goes, "Well, I'm the mayor, and I approve of it." And obviously, people got their phones out, so it's looking good for him, but it also looks bad on him at the same time, and in a political way, of course. And then at the same time, we get introduced to the daughter of Ben Urich, and she's interviewing Mayor Wilson, and he decides to use this as an advantage. So it's going to be very interesting. So she's been the one from episode one doing like a quote unquote documentary, asking about where's Daredevil? Do you miss him? How do you feel about the crimes in New York? Blah, blah, blah. She's the one who's pretty much a blogger, a vlogger, whatever you want to call it, a content creator. I'm sure they're going to use those terms in the MCU, of course. So that's what I see was going to happen with that. I think that's cool. I believe that, I believe she's going to be like a vigilante, or she's going to be a reporter, and like kind of like Peter Parker is, but for Hell's Kitchen, it can be one of those. And we also in this episode we learned that Heather Glenn has written a book that is very successful, and she has a lot of fans. And she was at a book signing, and one of Fisk's guys brought a book, got it signed, and just letting us, the viewers, know that this character is in danger and things are going down, right? And we also learned that the police commissioner is not a fan of Mayor Wilson. So, again, from the episode 1 and this episode of episode 2, it looks like, the police like the Kingpin, they like the mayor very much, but now they're showing us there are some good cops in this show, and that's one of the most important things that we were hoping to see, right? So we got that. And then in this episode, the detective that has been helping Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, and Kristen visits Hector's wife, and they're trying to talk to her to go to court because that would look good. But while the detective is getting his suit, he finds the white tiger suits, and of course he tells Matt Murdock, and Matt Murdock confronts him about it because they got to keep this on hush hush because he's a vigilante, and the cops are ready to throw the book. The justice system is ready to throw the book because in court it got dismissed, but luckily Matt Murdock got it back in court, and the case is going on. And then we learn that Heather Glenn becomes the therapist as a therapist couple for the mayor, Fisk, and Vanessa Fisk, putting her in danger. And it also seems like the relationship between these two are struggling. Now, obviously, this is what I got of it. One, there's probably some love relationship problems going on. And two, I think Vanessa is more into the crime, being the street mob. I think she likes the idea of being a woman who's running the street crime business, pretty much. And I believe that Mayor Fisk is wanting to do the good thing, but again, Daredevil and Kingpin are both struggling and conflicted within each other about who they truly are and what their true desires are, and they're fighting it. That's why they're resisting their quote unquote, I'm not going back to my old life. But Vanessa likes the old life, and the other and Daredevil's peers, they want him, especially Karen. Karen wants him to go back to his old ways as Daredevil for the sake of Foggy. So I like that. I really, really like that. And this is my favorite scene here too, was when Matt Murdock saved one of the witness, and he beat the crap out of these undercover cops. And slash thugs, I believe this brought out the will and desire of him wanting to be Daredevil. I think they're just obviously this is the title's Daredevil Born Again, and obviously he wants to put on that outfit. He wants to be that vigilante. He misses it, just like his Kingpin misses being Kingpin. You know, he likes to be feared by all and respected. He has to play the mayor, and he has to play nice on times where he wants to just, you know, crush somebody's head, but he cannot. Because we saw that him and he's got some photos of the commissioner's, I believe, son and wife, if that's the case, and he's going to put the fear of God of him. But he's got some guys on him that's willing to do the dirty work. So Kingpin has to be the mayor. You have to keep your hands clean, right? But he wants to get his hands dirty. And that's what Daredevil's trying to do. He wants to just be Matt Murdock, be a regular lawyer, beat these cases in the most political justice way, but deep down inside he wants to be Daredevil. He wants to put on the helmet, the horn, the cowl, whatever you call it, and do some ass whipping on people. And I like that. I love it, and I love the struggle of it. And to see Vanessa be the one to pull the strings on Kingpin to make him go back to being the Kingpin, but obviously try to still be mayor, is the most exciting part, because she seems like she's going to be a bigger threat in this series, which is awesome. But I can't wait to see, because they're teasing the idea of her starting to branch out on her own. And I think the mayor, Fisk, is going to get worried because it's going to make his image look bad. So they're having this thing. If you ever watch the Netflix series Ozark, there's a scene where the man and the husband and wife do this. And obviously they work for the drug cartels in the series. And they do this thing where they have a couple therapists, and they talk about their feelings and what they're going through without in code, basically. And just to air out some griefs while their people and their peers are not around them. And so this is one of those things. But this puts like Heather in a lot of danger too, because eventually they're going to find out that her and Matt Murdock are hooking up, and if he gets dirt on him, he's screwed. And so there's this one, to me, they're just telling you in episode 2 in foreshadowing way, like, things are going to get very dark and bloody and gritty. And I can't wait for it, honestly, because again, like, why is like the mayor and his wife having marital problems? Now remember, they're criminals, right? They're the bad guys. So who's more evil in this relationship now? You know, to me, it's Vanessa. Vanessa is the more evil, more villain-like than Kingpin at the moment. But again, he might be the mayor, but he's still the Kingpin. He still has that anger. He still has that rage. You know, don't get it twisted. And we haven't seen Vanessa for a long time. So how does she feel about Echo? How does she feel about Hawkeye and Kate Bishop? How does she feel about that? How does she feel about any of it, honestly? And it's going to be interesting because I bet you that she'll reveal how she feels through some therapy sessions and stuff. And everybody should go. If you need therapy, please go get the help. Therapy is super great. I encourage it. But I just want to put that out there. But back to the show. I think that, again, my point is I believe Vanessa is going to be more villain-like for a few more episodes. But I think Kingpin will absolutely have his moments of being the true villain that he is in comic books. So that's what I think. Now, Daredevil, aka Matt Murdock, I think, again, this is a parallel. Again, he's struggling. He wants to be Daredevil, but I think he needs to find peace from his past and mistakes he has made. And that's a lot because he has blood on his hand. And, I think that this is the show about him being a true superhero in the sense of it. So that's what I think. Now, let me put. Let's talk about the upcoming movie, Avengers: Secret War. Now you're saying, KJ, why are you talking about Avengers: Secret War and Daredevil: Born Again? Well, here's why. I believe that this show in some way is going to tie in a multiverse story. Now remember, in this episode, we know that Kingpin was in traffic because there's a giant hole on the bridge or in the street road, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like, and I bet it is the same bridge that Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus battled in Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay? And I believe that they just never got to it. Now, that doesn't mean that event took before it. To me, that just means they probably never... When they say there's red tape, that means like they haven't decided to put some money in a budget to pay the workers, the construction union workers, to fill up that quote-unquote hole. And now politically that gets into a deeper conversation, but the idea of that tells me that there is a multiverse story. And I believe that this Daredevil of the MCU will be in that film. Now, again, I would not be surprised to see Ben Affleck replay this role as Daredevil like he did in the early 2000s. But I believe that they're going to put Charlie Cox's version of Daredevil, which is the MCU's Earth 616, in Avengers: Secret War. So that's what I believe with that. But I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion. Do you guys think that Daredevil of the MCU is going to be in Avengers: Secret War? Let me know in the comments below, please. But over and all, if I had to give this an episode a 1 out of 10, I'm giving it an 8. Really good episode, really great, really exciting. And I love the drama, and I love the dialogue of just watching these characters talk about it and discuss and just struggle what they're struggling through is really fun. To me, based off of this episode and episode 1, to me, this should have been the plot story for Captain America: Brave New World. I think, to me. And I'm just saying that based off of 2 episodes. But this is really good. And I like where it's going. Because this is a street character. But they're making it feel so important to the bigger picture of the MCU. So I like that. But that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe. Hit that notification button so you guys will be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.